Yo, we in the building, man. If I wonder why I got glasses on, I was about to leave the house. I ain't gonna lie to you. So I'm like, let me just do this shit. I might start wearing these glasses though because the blue light be smacking. You feel me? The blue light be smacking. But these movies confirm everything on how they harnessing the energy from the youth and stuff like that. But also, I seen this clip this AM and I made a video on it, right? How come Lovecraft Country was calling out Epstein back then? You feel me? Hold on, is it uploaded yet? Oh, the video's still uploading. Hold on, y'all. It's still uploading, but let me see if I got it in my favorites or my likes. Damn, what's that? Bro, it's a clip basically of the Lovecraft Country. I got it off Threads, so it's gonna be on Threads. It'll probably be up in a minute. I'll pull it up in a minute. Let's get into the video. Shout out, truth is the movies confirm everything. Think about Monsters Inc., etc.
In this world, grotesque entities creep into children's bedrooms under the cover of night.
Monster
They
Inc.
watch from the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Right when the child is at their most vulnerable, they extract their terror to power an entire civilization. If you think this is a script for a new R-rated horror,
And this is the thing too, when people talk about the Epstein list and all this, bro, they've been sacrificing, doing child sacrifice for over a long time. A long time, bro. There's been entities on this planet that have been usurping humans as a food source for a long time. Y'all don't know they view us as archons. Look at this though.
You think you're supplying this Epstein guy with test subjects?
What? Y'all remember watching Lovecraft Country? This movie was a banger. So y'all can go watch that full short on my reels. You feel me? You ain't gonna get it here. Go to my reels and watch it, because that's different content. Nah, but we finna get back into this video though.
horror film, you couldn't be more wrong. This is actually the story of the blockbuster hit Monsters Inc. For some reason, Disney thought a movie about entities harvesting children's energy was a great choice for a family film.
Right.
But it's not just Pixar. From the Sanderson sisters literally sucking the souls out of children in Hocus Pocus,
Sanderson
to the dark
sisters.
eternal cycle of the Lost Boys in Peter Pan, today,
I never heard
we're
of that
looking
movie.
at movies that aren't as innocent as you remember. And the most disturbing part is how these stories seem to be a direct reflection of how energy is actually harvested from the innocent in our real world. These films seem to be telling a sinister story disguised as an innocent childhood classic. Once you see how they reveal real-life darkness, you will never see these movies the same again.
Then when you notice like Disney is deep into the occult, like Walt Disney got his head in cryostasis, like he got his head frozen. Like a lot of these dudes be already in. I wouldn't be surprised if Walt Disney was cool with niggas like Aleister Crowley and them. Like think about it, they all tied in. They all go to the same secret oath societies. They just implement themselves in different parts. You go to entertainment. You go to corporate America. Well, this wasn't corporate America back then. But you go into the business world. You go into religion world. You go into the psychology and the studies and the arts. And you know they get everybody everywhere.
When I was a kid, like many others, I watched Monsters Inc. a few too many times. While all I remember was the little girl and the one-eyed monster Mike Wazowski, it always seemed like just another innocent children's movie. But after analyzing the story a few years back, I realized this wasn't innocent at all. In fact, this film was actually really dark. I don't even know how they got away with this one. When you strip away the bright animated characters and the silly voices, you're left with a dark, disturbing story about monsters who harvest the fear of children. In the film, these monsters use portals to sneak into children's bedrooms in the middle of the night. They use these fearometer capsule devices to literally collect children's fear, which they use to power their world. These aren't the cute little monsters we remember. These are straight up demonic creatures who prey on children. They were literally terrorizing these kids at night. But more importantly, they were showing us the shady business.
Now, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I didn't watch Monsters Inc. But when you a kid, bro, nigga, it was something under that bed, bro. I don't care what nobody say. That shit just like phases away as you get older, bro. Cause now, even if it is a fucking entity or something in the bed, nigga, who under the bed? But back then, you wouldn't look. Nigga, I used to have a closet, bro. Cause bro, I grew up, I used to have my room first 12 years of my life. But then I had to move in with my dad and he didn't have his shit together like that. So he was in the studio for the rest of my high school and stuff till I dropped out and left the house. But nigga, growing up, having my room, bro. Nigga, I remember one time I had a dream and I astral projected, but it was like a sleep psychosis thing to where I was like 5 or 6, 7, and I was sleeping at my grandma's house, and my grandma had a plastic bed. It was in Vallejo, and bro, I'm telling you, I had a dream, and I was screaming, and I couldn't scream. In the car, my toy truck, you know the toy truck have the eyes on it. It came alive, and it was like coming towards me like this, and I was like, help, help. I was trying to say help, but the toy car was coming like to get me on some Monsters Inc. shit, and I was like petrified, like and I remember that shit, because even when I woke up, I'm like, what the fuck? I was out my body. I would never forget that dream. I was like 6 or 7, right? And but I remember being in like 8, 9, 10 in my room, and nigga, this before I start playing video games and stuff too. Like, bro, them closets and that in the bed used to be scary. That's one thing about video games, though. You get on the video game, you kill the monsters, you get power on the game. I feel like a lot of that video game shit helped our creativity a little bit, but it fucked us up in some ways too. It gave me like rage and impatience, hitting walls and shit. Like, I still be punching doors and shit. I'm fucked up off the game and shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. Shit, I'm human.
Of harvesting child energy, showing how it's collected and distributed by a shadowy corporation. In Monsters Inc., the primary villains are Randu and Henry, the CEO of the company. The two conspired to abduct the innocent from their bedrooms for a much darker purpose. They weren't just scaring the kids the normal way. They built a machine called the Scream Extractor to take their energy without them needing to scare them at all. Henry, the CEO of the corporation, claims he's doing this to solve an energy crisis. But think about what they're really showing us. This is a powerful CEO of a massive company admitting that he is willing to collect and terrorize the youth just to keep his system running. They were showing us a high-tech industrial way to harvest fear. Instead of the natural way they collected energy in the movie, the Scream Extractor was designed to bypass the rules and take everything from the source at once. It was a literal machine built for the extraction of innocence. When Henry says, "I'll take 1,000 of them before I let this company die,"
I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die.
he wasn't just being a movie villain, he was revealing the exact mindset of the elites we see in the real world. The idea that the energy of the innocent is just another resource. They're telling us that this evil system is literally what powers their world. If you've been paying attention to the recent 2026 documents, you know this isn't far-fetched at all. Just like in the Monsters Inc. universe, our world seems to be plagued by the very same evil. It seems like many powerful people were involved.
I wish it was just to keep the planet afloat. I wish it was that simple, but it's not. They want the people that are doing this. The difference is the people that are doing this on our Earth, they're not doing it to sustain their planet, or well, they are doing it to sustain their life because they come from a Babylon cursed seed, Canaanite cursed seed, you know. But these folks are doing it because they were built, they were designed to destroy the planet. They were designed, they're a parasitical entity. It's like a parasite. Because you gotta think about anybody that put these oil rings, you put all these trash, garbage disposals on the land, you funking up the earth, you usurping people out their energy. Anywhere where it's an indigenous tribe, you go and colonize it and mechanize it and destroy it and monopolize it and monetize it. And then you got like all type of youth. Like, think about all the youth and stuff that get caught at the border. Where you think they going? Like, then it's like when they putting it in the food and putting stuff in your everyday. So it's like, well, y'all are part of it too because you eat McDonald's. So you're all in. It's like they're doing some real devious shit. There's no way they're doing all of this just because they want to survive or because they know they're built to do this shit. So how we think it's bad and evil and fucked up, they feel they're powering up off of this shit. This is why there's no other way to do this shit but to stop conforming in their shit. That's why when I seen people like, damn, y'all couldn't at least not go to the Super Bowl. Especially for people that's just outstanding Americans and citizens, you pay taxes and all this shit, and you such a righteous person. Like, I ain't never been over righteous to the Matrix. I'm righteous to Earth. I ain't never been righteous to the Matrix, nigga. I'm always gonna find a way to loophole to finesse this dumbass game, world stage. Cause you play it fair on this world stage, and you get usurped out of energy. And it's not only like they're doing the youth, but they fuck you up as a youth and as an adult. That's why you're able to give them 30 years at Walmart, 30 years at Amazon, 30 years here. You know what I'm saying? Because you already programmed to be a slave. So even as you see grown people walking around, just know they victimize children, a lot of them. And it's not just the ones that got captured on islands. They got the minds of everybody in some way, in some form. Think about how many people they got addicted to corn. Think about how many people they got addicted to certain societal standards to where they have to go to this system. They have to do these things to feel like they're a part of society, they're whole. That's why you got to be in the world and not of the world. You know how to flow in this shit, but don't let it define you. Because that's how they control you. That's how they control you. Oh, jeez. You know what I'm saying?
Then the very same thing these monsters were doing in the movie. Now actually think about it. If someone were sneaking into your child's room and scaring them just to harvest their life force,
Shotgun.
that wouldn't be considered an adventure. It would be considered a massive exploitation operation. That is exactly what this movie depicted, but it did it in such a Pixar way that it went right over people's heads.
Not
But
mine.
if you thought Monsters Inc. was dark, Hocus Pocus takes it to a whole different level. This movie is a Halloween staple, but if you actually look at the opening scene, it's one of the most disturbing things Disney has ever put on screen. In the first few minutes of the movie, we see the Sanderson sisters lure a young girl, Emily Binks, into their cabin. They don't just take her, they use her for a strange ritual. We see the sisters brew a potion that they give to the girl. Her life force starts glowing, and then they literally suck the life out of her to restore their own youth. Now think about what they're actually showing us here. This is the exact same thing we just covered in my The Shining movie breakdown.
I never even seen that movie. Like all the it was that they had a lot of witch. Bro, Chanel West Coast was saying that when she went on a podcast. She was like, now that I'm getting older, I didn't realize like a lot of those Disney movies and stuff. And I just ran into a sister at the smoke shop we going to. She's super cool. She's not a sister, my bad. She's like a white girl, but she's super cool. You know what I'm saying? She's damn near a sister, like, but she's just like a white. She's like a white black. I don't know how to explain it, bro. She a earthy white girl, you know, but she's super cool, down to earth. But she was telling me like, yeah, all them shows and movies I was talking about. She was like, I was watching Britney Spears when she was in the industry, and then they said she went crazy and all this stuff. We was watching that stuff, and I'm like, okay, this is the generation they grew up off. Cause I didn't grow up off that 2000s Disney. I grew up off like 2010s Disney and late 2000, like 2008, 9 Disney. Like Good Luck Charlie and all them. That was like 2010. We grew up off that. That's like the Kai Cenat generation on. That's me. But before that, you had the Hocus Pocus and the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody's. Like we had to go watch Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. We grew up on Sweet Life on deck. You see what I'm saying? We had to go back and get Wizards of Waverly Place. Like I caught the middle of Wizards of Waverly Place when it was already an ongoing show, not at the beginning, or I didn't see pre-Disney before that. So when you go back to pre-Disney before that, that shit is just straight a cult. It's a cult now, but before then, it was just straight messages, like just straight. Like then you had like that show with the two sisters, the twins, and stuff like that. Like it was a lot of little witch movies and shit. That shit all fucked up.
In that film, a shadowy group called the True Knot uses fear to suck the souls out of children. These aren't just spooky witches. These are entities that need the life force of the innocent to maintain their beauty. They literally can't survive in their peak form without this ritual. And just like in Monsters Inc., it's all disguised with catchy songs and funny dialogue, so you don't realize you're watching a ritualized harvest. And this is the exact moment where the movie stops being a comedy and starts revealing the darkest reality of the elite's shadowy underworld. Yeah. We always hear about these celebrities who don't seem to age, or these elites who are obsessed with staying young at any cost. Hocus Pocus was telling us back in the 90s exactly how the system works. They were showing us that for some people, immortality isn't a miracle, it's a commodity that is stolen from the most vulnerable. It makes you wonder, why is this a fun Halloween movie? Why are we teaching our kids that the literal consumption of their innocence is just a spooky story? But once we connect this to those 2026 documents we talked about, the Sanderson sisters start looking less like characters and more like a mirror of reality. This monster brought these young souls to an island and sold their innocence to the highest bidder. Just like we see.
I don't care if it's acting. That shit's a ritual when they're doing that, even as an acting role. I want to know how that young girl life panned out. And it'll let you know it, bro. They wouldn't even tell you. She probably had all type of shit happen to her after that. Then you got to think about who parents let her sit down and cast a role where 3 witches are gonna act like they're used to. So that's what I'm saying. For all my white people that be like, oh, the black man and this and that, and the black people the crime, that I'm so happy that shit over with, because you gotta watch your own people. However you look, you have to watch your own people, because you're gonna get duped off that shit. So if you white, watch them other white people. If you black, watch them other niggas. If you Mexican, watch them other Mexicans. That's who's gonna sell you out first. No, it ain't gonna be somebody on the other side, because you're gonna automatically expect them to be an enemy, because they don't look like you. You've been programmed to be racist. You have to watch people that got your skin color if you're that skin color. Fact, this is a fact, bro. That's free fucking game, bro. For anybody that's under this loop spell. All right, let's get into it.
In the story of Peter Pan. In the Disney version, we see a magical boy who just wants to play. But if you go back to the original story, Peter Pan is much more sinister. He literally lures children out of their windows in the middle of the night, promising them a world of no rules. But once they get to Neverland, they realize it's not the fun they were promised. Peter isn't the kind of boy they expected. He's a monster. He has a rule that the Lost Boys are never allowed to grow up. But what happens when they actually start to age? In the original book, it's hinted that Peter thins them out. This means that once they lose their youthful innocence or start becoming adults, they are disposed of. Think about that. This is exactly what we see with these shadowy elites we've been discussing. They have no use for adults. They only want the pure, untapped energy of the innocent. Peter Pan is essentially a recruiter for a system that uses children until they are no longer innocent enough to be valuable. Neverland is an island where time stands still. Children are separated from their parents,
Yes.
and a single monster has total authority over their lives. Doesn't that remind you of someone? When you compare that to the 2026
I never seen the Peter Pan
documents in the real life island, the parallels are undeniable. Hollywood wasn't just telling a fairy tale, they were revealing the dark truth openly, telling us how these operations work in the shadows. They made us love the very person who was leading children into the trap. What's truly disturbing is that this story of
niggas was just watching this shit. Oh, it's a cartoon. Like, no, nigga. Even when we watched Lion King, like, bro, I felt like, bro, our generation, we just wasn't going for certain shit, bro. I feel like a lot of niggas was dumb, bro. Like, the kids that's born in the 2000s, especially like the Gen Zs, we just wasn't going. Like, a lot of y'all was just, y'all consciousness was just low. Y'all older generation was stupid, bro. Like, how you watch a show like Monsters, Inc. and as a parent think that shit is normal? You gotta be stupid. I don't care how low the consciousness was, bro. I'm telling y'all, bro, I used to talk to this girl when I was in high school, and she never seen Friday. She never seen Juice. She never seen none of these shits. And I'm like, you ain't even black. That's how I used to think. I'm like, this girl, she a white, I got a white black girl, you know what I'm saying? Which I like bubbly black girls that act white. I like that shit. I prefer it. You know what I'm saying? As long as they still got the system within them. But you know what I'm saying? You know, anyway. That's a whole different conversation. It's because it's about good personality and good energy. But they missed her with the programming. Mind you, they missed her with the programming though with that shit. She was able to miss out on Friday, Juice. Like, bro, nobody want to see that shit. Boys in the Hood. Ricky walking in the house shot. They picking up Ricky's body, putting it in the house, he bleeding out. That traumatized everybody. Like, come on, bro. Juice. Nigga popping your partner and shit. Backdooring your mans. Shit, all this goofy shit.
Children being lured away to be used for their life force goes back centuries. Peter Pan isn't an original story. He's actually a modern version of the Pied Piper story. If you look at the old legends from the 1200s, the Pied Piper was a figure who used a magical flute to lure 130 children away from their homes in Hamelin. Just like Peter Pan, he promised them something better. But once they followed his music, they were never seen again. They vanished into a mountain.
Pied Piper, yeah, man. So shout out to The Truth Is, bro, for exposing these movies. Oh, he finna get into Walt Disney real quick. Let's pull up on this real quick.
Things get quite eerie. As we all know, Disney was founded by Walt Disney, one of the most famous men in history. Since the beginning, themes of the occult and witchcraft have been at the core of Disney's biggest stories. Not just magic, but seriously dark, recurring themes that often involved harnessing innocent energy. You might think it's a simple way to make his stories interesting and appealing to children. But when you find out Walt's history in real-world secret groups during his youth, things start to look a whole lot different. Walt was actually a member of the very first Demolay chapter. For those who don't know, the Demolay is recognized as a Masonic youth program. The Masons are known for their esoteric occult-leaning ideologies that make the organization so secretive. So it makes complete sense why Disney has been into the mythical since the beginning. Walt himself was involved in a secretive organization as a young man that was into esoteric.
You see what I'm saying? This how they split them through. So you see how it's 5 of them? The one on the left, he'll be in politics. The one in the middle, he'll be in ownership of other businesses. The one on the left will be in show business. The one on the right will be like two of them will be in show business. The one on the left, the far right, they'll send him over to another state to be in a union or something. That's how they infiltrate the people. That's how they send like people like Rothschild, these rich families. Like even when you think about Black Wall Street, that's why they had to shut that shit down. Because they was billionaires, millionaires. They was rich as fuck. They wasn't just like, oh yeah, we had our own house and we had our own community. It wasn't just like we was barely getting by, nigga. We was getting glitchy, bro. Because it's our land. Anyway, we been rich. We been royalty. We been wealthy. They stole everything from the Americas when they took it. When they took Africa, they stole everything. The people in Africa and went to Europe act like they did the shit. But then you got to realize, like, there's a lot of people that look like you that fucked you over. That's the only way that it happened. You think it's some white man did it? You think they got to the point where they built all the Freemason buildings and all the Masonic temples and everything? You think it was just done all by the white man? You're a fool. Do you not see how the global world works right now? You see what's going on across the world? The girl said that, yeah, 80% of Iran didn't want this, but 20% wanted it. Because she said when she lived in Iran, she went through the same thing that's happening now. And she said when she was there, women couldn't show their skin and all this shit. And she was just explaining her experience like, this shit fucked up. But then they talk about that's America. No, the people there is pissed off at y'all. That's why niggas are celebrating all this. I mean, I don't even look at that politics bot shit. Because I don't give a fuck. I don't, bro. I don't give a fuck about no bot politics, bro. This shit was supposed to be. This shit is all a part of the end game. Y'all was talking about this shit 6 years ago. When whatever politics was popping in. They was talking about it 10, 20 years ago before I was born. Who cares, bro? Until you bring that water my dough, I don't care, bro. And I will be figuring out what's going on and stuff like that. And I will be aware of things if I'm going to be in them regions and areas. But as long as my region cool, I don't give a fuck. Don't program me with that fear. You feel me?
Occult ideas. He went on to make a company that creates movies and shows that lean into those same ideas he was likely influenced by when he was in the Demolay. What's interesting is that even Harry Potter is completely influenced by the Demolay organization.
Yeah. Wow.
Hogwarts is the Demolay, and the wizards are the members. Harry Potter is influenced by so many occult themes that I can literally make a full breakdown on that movie.
Yeah, we gotta don't even talk about Harry Potter yet. You need a whole different video for Harry Potter. Cause I watched all of these. And it's the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Nah, but I don't see they say the books is more deeper, but I watched them like just to get into magic movies and occult movies, because I just wanted to see some shit that what I was learning in a movie and stuff like that a few years ago. So I went and watched all the Harry Potters, and it's interesting, bro. Like, what is his name? Dwarf or whatever. Like, he had these people that was guiding him, like on a dark. It's like kind of the dark. Fuck my bad. It's kind of like the Darth Vader story, Anakin story. Like, you got these Obi-Wans and all them trying to guide you, but then you got Sith Lord in your ear, like, hey, hey, and the council. They telling them little things like eventually, like Yusuke when he fighting the dude that I'm watching right now. I know I'm just saying hella shit, but Yusuke fighting a dude. He telling him like, eventually you gonna get stronger than the program. You ain't gonna want to listen to nobody, like one of them, right? So with Harry Potter, he was dealing with that balance of light and dark and what he was fighting for and shit like that. But he ended up just in a war, having to fight these entities and this shit. But as he was going through the ranks and getting older, he had people that was not wanting him to not wanting him to get right. You know what I'm saying? Wanting him to basically perish. And he got through that shit and all that. But even when I look at this show, they was all kids doing this shit. So even the movie in itself is a ritual. In itself. All kids' movies is rituals in itself. Why you got these kids in these movies anyway? Like, who was the first one to think like, let's put a kid in a movie and do this? Like, I could see like an extra or something, but like, whoever thought of the idea is a ritual in itself, bro. Putting kids in movies just in general. And acting and child actors, like, bro, why are you usurping? Nigga, why didn't you be an actor? Why you trying to make your kid an actor? Now it's different if you're an actor and it's like, oh, I want to make my kid. He want to do what I do. He want to copy me. He can come on a set with me every once in a while or put us. No, we gonna make you a star, kid. Like, that's just it's just off to me. Let me know if y'all actually see what I'm talking about.